Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Give me that fucking coffee. That's right, you dirty fuckers. Because I beware. Good day, you dirty, rotten hot dogs. That's right, it's been a while, I understand. But this is, in fact, an episode of Coffee and Contemplation. Your most least consistent podcast of all time. Thank you, I wear that crown very, very well. Anyway, I'm your host, Old Heart, aka Jared, and I am sitting here trying to figure out life as we know it. So, podcast about it, right? Podcast is life. I don't know if that's fucking true. Basically, by my month silence, you know it's not true. All right. I will be honest. I've been kind of probably guilting myself. Yes. Guilting myself probably a little too much about my lack of attention towards Old Heart as of late. Mainly because there's you hot dogs are hopefully gotten used to it. But I hope it didn't ruin anybody's quarantine or, well, I think everybody's kind of not quarantined anymore, which is part of the problem. But that's not what we're talking about today. I'm not talking about catch-up bullshit today. Today I'm talking about a couple of things. One thing called Randonautica, and also a completely other random conspiracy thing, which I actually want to talk about first because it's more interesting to me. The Montauk Project, Montauk. So I just kind of stumbled upon this information, very brief stuff. So on the Wikipedia, it mentions that stories of the Montauk Project have circulated since the 1980s. And this is some sort of area around Long Island, New York, where there was a base that they were supposedly doing all these different experiments, things in time travel and telepathy and telekinesis and weird shit the government shit you think the government really does without telling you it really does. And anyway, so there's rumors of this place going back to the 80s, and I actually discovered the link to this because of Stranger Things, which, if you're listening to this, you're probably familiar with. It's the amazing Netflix show that me and my co-host Lucas always gush over on Matinee Edition. Anyway, so Stranger Things was partly inspired by the Montauk Project, and its actual working title, was Montauk, which is so interesting to me. But this is so. According to UFO researcher Jacques Vallée, the Montauk experiment stories seem to have originated with the account of one Preston Nichols. And this person claimed to have memories that were repressed of his own involvement in these things. He claims that he was periodically abducted, that he was forced to participate in these things against his will. This person, Preston Nichols, was born on May 24th, 1946 in Long Island, New York. And he claimed to have He claims to have degrees in things like electrical engineering, and psychology. I don't know if that's true. I haven't looked up any of this. This is all off the Wikipedia and what I've read thusly. So, the thing that's interesting about this Montauk conspiracy is I read that there was weird creatures that keep washing up on these beaches, and I heard about the Stranger Things conspiracy because supposedly the facility that was the Air Force facility is what Hawkins Laboratory is based off of. I saw like a supposed photo of one of these creatures that would like wash up on these beaches, and it's like it doesn't look like anything I've recognized. But then again, it could. I'm no fucking expert. But it just, it's just really interesting. And if you're a conspiracy theory nut, which leads me into the other topic, but if you're a conspiracy theory nut, you kind of love these stories because they're exactly what you expect to be happening around you. And I'm not saying I'm a nut. I'm not saying conspiracy theorists are nuts. Some of them definitely are. Just gonna throw that out there. But, it's really, one, it's kind of fun. And two, it's sort of, to me, it's like a, why the fuck not? Why discredit something because you can? I mean, most people just wash it away because it's not normal, right? And that, which I'll try and maybe do a little more in depth on the Montauk thing, but like this like secret laboratory, secret Air Force base where they did all these experiments and shit, is exactly what the conspiracy theorist is looking for. And shit, shoutouts to anybody listening out there. Really, you hot dogs are amazing. Thank you. The shoutouts all for you. Drink it in. Fucking hell. So that leads me into this other thing. It's a new app called Randonautica. And I recently downloaded it because my friend introduced it to me. Shoutouts to Mojo Jojo. It's basically like this app that gives you coordinates to go to, and based on like a couple of criteria that you enter. And from my understanding, you enter what is called an intent. And so that could be like, some people, I watched all these videos. A lot of it, I don't TikTok. I've never made a TikTok, but a lot of TikTok videos were these Randonautica ones that I was watching. I was like, what the fuck, man? Is TikTok the new thing? What the fuck is TikTok? Anyway, that's just the old person to me. Moving on. So you enter like an intent like cat, or if you're really crazy, like enter like scary or something, or death or whatever. I mean, maybe not death, that might be extreme. But you enter an intent, and it sends you to these points, like God, I wish I remember the name. These points that supposedly have like a lot of energy around them or whatever. And some of the videos are really creepy. Like, these kids get sent to just like the most random shit. But it all looks like, to me, you're getting sent to like some junkyards or some like, old abandoned houses. There were a few creepy things. One was like, it was like literally like the spooky thing was like this homeless lady staring down these kids, and like while she was like muttering under her mouth. I've seen shit like that downtown regularly. It's not like, it's kind of like, to me it's a little bit like, all these videos you see at least are really like kind of younger kids who are, I don't know, like they don't know jack shit except what they know. I'm not discrediting what they know, but they just don't look like, they look like they're getting creeped out by like really simple shit. And I remember that feeling when I was like really young. Me and my brother and our friend, we hiked up into like some hills around our house, and we found like kind of like an abandoned like car junkyard, and there was like somebody living there, and it freaked us the fuck out. And when we ran home, we were like, oh my god, that was crazy. And our like 10, 11, 12-year-old minds were like, what the fuck, what was that? Like, that's crazy. And we, in hindsight, it was like somebody was storing their junk cars there because they probably owned the property, and there may have been a homeless person sleeping there. It is what it is. Stealing pies off of windowsills in between. But my point is, it's like it's sending you so Randonautica, you put your intent in, you put like the degree of I think you have to do like 3 or something like that, but it sends you to some weird shit sometimes. And one of the main cases, and you can look this up. There's a news report about it and everything. These kids use this Randonautica app, and it sent them coordinates to this suitcase on the beach in Seattle that ended up having human remains in it, which is creepy as fuck. And other people have like been sent to like sites where there are like smashed phones and like there looks like there's been like a fire and bones around and shit like that. Sometimes some weird shit, but there's got to be an algorithm to it, but which to the app itself. But there's also like the thing that people are trying to like point out is that it's making people, when you use it, it makes you go out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it pushes you to keep going and going and going to get to your destination point. And it's almost like seeing how far you're willing to go, and that distance also seems to impact like perhaps your perception of what's happening. But what people are saying conspiracy-wise is that it is also showing you in a weird way the quote matrix simulation that we live in, which there are a lot of people out there, a lot of credible people out there that say we very well could be living in a simulation, which is fucking crazy, right? I'm not even playing with that AI shit. Like, we all have it in our pocket already. It's gonna get worse and worse. It's fucking nuts. Like, we have had experts warn us about that, and then we've had experts tell us that we already are living in computer simulations, which is baffling. I mean, this is a hell of an interesting computer simulation. Really fucked up at the moment, 2020. Oof. But either way, so conspiracy theories are fun. They're kind of rabbit holes. Be careful, kids. Really quickly, I do want to apologize for my absence as usual. I know I'm not posting as much, but right now I have a new puppy dog named Bowie Prince, and he's fucking fantastic. But he's also frustrating at times, I gotta be honest. I'm getting used to being a puppy dad. Life is currently crazy. I'm also in the process of getting a move on. So, bear with me, hot dogs. I love you. Keep going, because every day is a good day to ripen up that coconut. Everybody knows that. You gotta just go out there and use your brain for good. Always. Especially in these weird, tumultuous times. Also, shout outs to the people out there marching, the people on the lines. Shout outs to you. Keep using your voices, everybody. And also, fuck that dude that hit those protesters on I-5 up near Seattle. I watched that video. That dude purposely sped through that crowd. Bullshit. Either way, be safe out there. Use your brains for good. Ripen up your coconut. And keep your stick on the ice.